Yeah, it's like a bubblegum kind of pink. This is a Fuji75. The Fuji series, so this was sent to me by Keycaps. The Fuji75 and the other Fuji keyboards by CMM Studios have obviously had a bad course of, whatever. They have a bad image. It was a pretty disappointing group buy experience, I think, for the 65. I don't know if the 75 ever made it to market because I never looked at a 75 or was interested in the 75 at the time. I know they did a Fuji75 Dreaming Girl group buy that had like 100 or so units sold. Apparently that was delivered with no issues. CMM Studios has basically turned into Sakura Workshop, which doesn't really excuse like the disappointing group buy experience they had of the Fuji65. It doesn't. Let's be real here. However, this project is going to be vendored by Keycaps, which, in my opinion, has had better experiences with a lot of things. So I'm 100% behind doing Keycaps for this. So with that being said, this is going to be manufactured by the same factory, I'm told, as the Haven and the Alien and the Bina, which I personally think the Haven series was very well done. The Alien, I know I built one. I think I still have the prototype here, but I don't really remember. It's in a box somewhere. I don't think it's actually mine to keep. And the Bina was really good too. I did see some people had very small minor issues with the Bina. But yeah, those boards were good. I agree with UgTug. So with that out of the way, and this is just me kind of doing some digging, I actually asked Frether and some other team members in Keycaps to give me some information, just because honestly, I was a little hesitant to cover this. So I was like, man, I know the Fuji75 ended up really good, but I need to do my due diligence in making sure that the Fuji75 is at least on paper supposed to be better. So with that being said, I think they might be doing some screw positionings different for the final. God, there's so much stuff in here. Some stickers, a little dear customer thing from Sakura Workshop. That's a nice pink, actually. Damn. This is kind of a cute pink. It's like so soft looking. I like what they did here. They extended the weight off. I don't remember anything about the Fuji75, by the way. At the time, it just wasn't a board I was interested in. Oh, this is nice, actually. Yeah, it's like a bubblegum kind of pink, almost. Yeah. It does look like it uses adhesive feet. I do like the overall design of it. The PVDing isn't the best PVDing in the world, but it's definitely not the worst. I'm not sure if you guys will be able to see some of the rippling. Maybe not. It's too reflective. Oh, whatever. There is a small amount. Let's see if I can get this camera. This camera's on manual focus. Very small amount of rippling. You can kind of see it. So it's not the absolute best PVD I've seen in the world. However, let me tell you, I have seen way worse. This is still, to me, very passable as high quality. Yeah, you can still see it though. So just so you guys are aware, it's there. It's still good quality. The side profile looks really nice. It does look like we have 3 screws on the bottom, which I think they said they're switching to 4, and then 4 on the top. Interesting screw placements. I wonder how that's gonna affect the sound of the board. And then we have the side profile. That looks pretty nice. Very, very cool. And here's the back of the board where the weight kind of peeks out a little bit. I kind of like the visible screws here. I don't know if it's just me. I've always been a big fan of hardware like this though, so. And then we have a brass weight on the inside. This weighs a lot too, so technically this is a 4-piece design. Brass weight, then you got the PVD'd weight, which I think is, I want to also say that's stainless. And then we have the 2 pieces, the bottom and the top. And then a little Sakura Workshop with a little flower here on the top right. All right, overall pretty nice. The bezel width is pretty even on all 4 sides too, so, and it does look like we're using gasket socks, which is a nice thing to see. Let me move this over to the side. Let's take a look at the PCB next. I think both of these PCBs are the same. Yeah, I don't have much information past this, by the way, though, guys. It just says prices to be determined. I don't know what the prices are going to be, but my only concern really would be the front height on this. It does seem a little bit high. I don't know if they have a front height listed here. That's okay. It is at 7.5 degree typing angle, though. All right, let's see this, because this is important too. There are some updates there. Is there? We have PCB. So this is a hot swap PCB here. Tons of options. I am not concerned for options here. It doesn't look like the hot swap PCB has ISO. I don't think this one here does either. I think they're both the same. So no ISO, but we do have split backspace, stepped and regular caps, standard left shift. So we've got some options here. Oh, look, it's a wrist rest. Oh, that's kind of cute. Does it come with this? That I'm not sure about. It does come with the wrist rest. Wait, what is this? Is this to change the typing angle or something? That's the back weight? Oh, it is? I thought this was a wrist rest, to be honest. I'm sure you could even double this as something like a wrist rest. Oh, so they have an alternate aluminum back piece here. Oh, because I guess this is like a special edition version then. That's interesting. All pink if you guys want to go all pink. Interesting. Dude, if you do buy this though, hear me out, bro. That's a wrist rest. Not even lying. But you'd have the feet on the wrong side here. And then we have foam, PE foam, a plate, and another plate. Now, I think we're going to use FR4 today. Just because I'm more confident in the FR4 with the switches that I chose. Now I'm regretting the switches that I chose because they're totally a different color than this keyboard. Oh, never mind. It's right here on the product page. 380 versus 450. So this is definitely on the higher side. I'm going to be very, very honest. For 450, I want to see that PVD weight get better in terms of rippling. I personally don't like the rippling on it. I would like to see it get a little bit better. I spoke to Click Clack and they sent me over some Ripple switches. So these are nylon housings, palm stem, long poles by SWK with stock lube. So this is how they have the weight, or I guess the accent. It's just a cube with a little pad underneath it. But why do they have this hollow thing to it? I'm so interesting. Weight reduction? Oh, maybe a little bit of weight reduction or something. Also, this is interesting here. Why is there no keyboard case here? I wonder if that's just a offset. Oh, that's to offset this. Interesting. I wonder if that's a deliberate choice to make the arrows sound less, I guess, stiff. Interesting, very interesting. I still don't know why people include those. I guess it's fine if you have gasket socks. That I don't mind because you can just easily take them off. But I would figure that most designers would understand that it's kind of a net overall negative to have a mounting point at the spacebar. But some people, I guess, will enjoy a stiffer spacebar. However, if you're using something like adhesive gaskets, it's not the easiest to mod and take off if you end up not liking it. So that is my little bit of a quarrel. Patches, you like it? I'm sorry, Patches. Like I said, some people do like it. I look at it from like a quality of life standpoint. Because if you have adhesive gaskets and you put it on because you want to test it, it's not easy to take back and, forth those adhesive gaskets. I'm totally fine with them including the mounting points here, as long as it's not interfering with the case at all. Because you can just take off the socks. But when adhesive happens, adhesive makes it way more permanent and you kind of have to live with the decision in most cases, unless you buy more adhesives. So it becomes a little bit of like a tough scenario. But I guess with an FR4 plate, you can just literally cut that off as well. It seems like the gasket socks are also creating some sort of friction against the top case, which could be good for the sound profile. I feel like a lot of designs are moving away from those pour-on gasket strips. I still really like pour-on gasket strips. Like they do have a distinct feel and sound profile in some cases. However, they are a lot more permanent, and if you're gearing towards a more quality of life keyboard design where you can swap things out and stuff, yeah, they're not the best to have. Oh, you can actually see the weight on this, which is nice too, by the way. I think a lot of these boards with the nicer side profiles from this kind of angle, you normally don't see that. But you can actually see the weight here. It's kind of nice. Overall, this is a pretty cool colorway, though. I don't think I've ever seen something in this kind of bubblegum pink. The E-coat looks absolutely perfect on this, by the way. I don't see any sort of blemishes on the E-coat. So it looks good. Again, I don't know how I feel about the $380 price point. I think the special edition should have been $380, and then I think the regular edition should have been $300, if anything. So I do think this is a little bit more on the pricey side. I don't know how big the run they're trying to do is, like if they're limiting the group buy. If they do, that makes sense. If they don't, this is definitely more of a premium product. I don't love the PVD on this for $450. You can kind of see some, minus the dust, the rippling. You can sort of see it there, right there, as I kind of shine the light. I would suggest them to take a look and figure out to make this smoother. That would be my major criticism for this. Past that, I don't really have anything else that's a major criticism. Either way, it's a 4-piece design. So you got the back accent, the top case, the bottom case, and the brass weight on the inside. This one here is very heavy. The pink is not exactly the same. I'll be the first to say this has more red inside of it. So, but we'll still use it. I think it'll look nice. Okay, so these are SWK switches, the Ripple ones. We have GMK keycaps, FR4 plate, cherry stabilizers, which I have not tuned. I have to double check if these are okay. And this is the Fuji75. So here's what it sounds like. I mean, this sounds nice. I think removing the gaskets under the spacebar was a sick idea. The alphas sound nice. These switches sound really good, by the way. I have no quarrels with the sound profile. Perhaps we do need to put in those gaskets again. Perhaps they are reliant on it. Maybe they're bouncing too much up and down and impacting the top or bottom case, but I see why they left this area kind of blank for the arrow keys. The arrow keys actually sound really good on this. Yeah, the arrows do sound really good. So that's interesting. I like the way they did that. Okay, this does sound nice. Feels good too. I still don't believe this is 19 mil. For whatever reason, this feels high. Like I do feel like I have to float my wrists a little bit. If this is 19 mil, then I'm going crazy. Overall, I think the keyboard does sound good. I think it feels good too. It's pretty standard. There's no real, I guess, thrills here in terms of what this sounds like. It sounds good. Like it sounds awesome, feels good. There's not a lot of extra features you're gonna get in this either. I do think the only real interesting bit that I've seen in the internals is the lack of material here on the bottom to kind of let this float. So you can see this is flexing a little bit, which also makes the arrows sound pretty good. So cool idea there. I would feel way better at $300 than $380. Again, if they're doing this as some sort of like limited run or just very small batch, then I get it. But I do feel like this is expensive for what it is. I think these switches are a great choice for this, by the way. Also really like these Ripple switches, but it is a pretty looking keyboard. It sounds really good. It feels really good. What about $380 including shipping? That would make me feel a little bit better, to be honest, Feather. I just feel like, you know, again, to be very, very, very honest with you, Feather, it's going to be a hard buy for a lot of people at $380 with the current market. I think where this would shine, Feather, if you didn't want to go the free shipping, would be probably a $300 mark. Not for the special edition one, but like a $300 mark might make a lot of people feel better. It's just a little high. Like someone even mentioned, there's the F1 currently on sale. There's a whole bunch of other 75s that you can currently still get as well. So the only selling point this would really have, other than having like a good sound profile, would be realistically the way it looks. And I think a $300-ish price point might make a lot of people feel better about purchasing this. Take care, everyone, and see you tomorrow. Bye.